and gentlemen, in today's video, I am going to be reacting to your wrestling takes and answering your wrestling questions. I put out a tweet earlier this week basically just saying, give me wrestling questions and takes, and I got like over 200 responses, so I think that's plenty to record a video, maybe even more. Couple of plugs before we hop into the thing. Don't forget to use code Wyatt's World on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. But that's all I got for plugs today. Let's get into the video. Okay, so as always, I'm just showing off the original tweet and the handle for those who aren't following me and want to so they can participate in future videos, but there it is. So first question we have is from Jay Quads here. He says, who do you think should win the men and women's Money in the Bank? For men's, I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre, and I think he's gonna cash in on Damian Priest immediately that night and win the belt back in the most poetic fashion ever. And for the women's, I'm actually gonna go with Tiffy Time. I think she's the most interesting, I think she's the most entertaining right now, and she could definitely use it because it's pretty much a guaranteed push if WWE does it correctly. All right, next question here is from Dom. He says, who's a random wrestler that you used to / still love for absolutely no reason? Now, I mean, there's gotta be a reason behind you liking someone, even if it is the smallest, but we will go past and present here. When I was a kid, I loved Finlay, and right now, I can't explain it, but I really like Karrion Kross. I just think the guy's funny. He cracks me up, man. Here's a take from Sweat. He says, Roman should have never lost to Cody. These are the kind of people that just like to try and get under people's skin. And it ain't even gonna work, brother. There's no way you weren't bored. This one's from OG Tori. He says, will you like to see a John Cena versus The Rock Part 3? If so, what pay-per-view? I mean, who am I kidding? Yeah, I'd like to see it. I don't know how good it would be, but I'd definitely be interested. What pay-per-view? I mean, I feel like that's a WrestleMania. Joel21 says, if you had to make a basketball starting 5 out of WWE superstars, who would they be? Oh boy. Give me Omos at center. Give me AJ Styles as the point guard. Take Montez Ford as my power forward. Give me Austin Theory as my small forward. Give me Dirty Dom as my shooting guard. Why not? This one's from Ricky. He says, thoughts on Cody's title reign? I personally think it's been great, and he hasn't had one boring match since winning the belt. You know, I agree. I like seeing my champion on a week-to-week basis. I think it's nice. They don't have to wrestle. Obviously, you do have to protect him. You can't have him fighting on TV every week, but actually having him present, like, it's nice. And yeah, when he does fight, the matches are always great, too. Still on the Cody train here, the Beastly Boom says Cody's loss at 39 was the right choice. I disagree. As great as 40 was, 39 would have had a bigger pop. 39 would have also saved a year of my life that I missed from wrestling because I quit watching because I was so sick and tired of the product. Cody's feud with Brock would have also actually meant something if there was a championship involved, but now we still have no idea what that was about. Disagree. All right, moving on to Jared Goff for MVP. He asked, do I believe in Joe Hendry? Of course. SCO Duck says, what was your least favorite feud you watched growing up? That's easy. Any feud John Cena had with the Big Show after the year of 2006 was fucking terrible, and they feuded probably 2 or 3 different times. Go Bills says, which wrestler is most similar to the Buffalo Bills? Jey Uso, because he's loved by everybody and he chokes every single time he's on the biggest stage of them all. Eddie Ailman says, is Ricochet leaving WWE the right move for him? Well, I have a hot take on it. Right away, let me say this. I hope if he goes somewhere else, he goes to TNA. I think that would be the best spot for him. But I don't think he's gone. I think it's a work. I think he's going to come back in like a month and it's going to be a huge chip on his shoulder kind of run where he's just going to be beating like the biggest superstars in the company and having a huge push. Just a personal guess. Isaiah Pikachu asked, do you think Randy Orton wins another world title? Yes, I do. I think he does. I think actually if anybody breaks Flair's record, as much as I'd love to see it be John Cena, Randy Orton would make the most sense. He has never left. He has been here consistently putting his body on the line for 20 fucking years. Rip Nick's reputation. What age did you know wrestling was staged? At like 7 or 8, and I didn't give a shit, and I still don't. Another Cody hater here from Mike. He says, Cody is an ass champ. WWE fell off without Roman. Do you guys not realize Roman wouldn't even be around? You act like Roman would have come back after WrestleMania and just bet on TV. What the fuck are you talking about? Brandon says, Bayley is a boring champion and her finishing move is horrible. I agree her finishing move is absolutely atrocious. Boring champion? I I think it's the booking on SmackDown, because I thought the same thing about Io. Like, I guess technically that would be Bayley being a boring champion, but I don't think it's on her. I think it's the booking on SmackDown. Saber, do you think anyone will have a historical run like Roman had? If so, who do you think it'll be? I don't know, and if it happens again, I will literally never watch wrestling again. All right, this one is from, we'll go Puckin' Fightin'. He says, when do you think they do Punk versus Drew? Because if Drew wins the title from Priest, he's fighting Gunther at SummerSlam. I actually have thought about that, and I believe Punk and Drew are gonna fight at Survivor Series, and I think it'll be for the world title. Meaning, I do not believe Gunther is going to take it out of SummerSlam. Now, I'm not sure how he's gonna lose. Something tells me we might see a returning Brock. Otherwise, Gunther might just lose clean, but I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, as great as Gunther is, as short as he has not been a champion, I think it would be too soon to put a belt on him anyway. Xenoscience says, thoughts on Triple H and how good he was? This is kind of a unique question because I have a weird stance on Triple H. I've always looked at him as a star. He's always been, you know, a face of a brand. He's always been missed when he's been gone. But he's never been my favorite. I've never looked at Triple H and been like, you know, Triple H is my guy. Grant, how long should a typical title reign last? Look, man, I'm a big fan of normalizing 3 to 6 month reigns as a typical title reign. Title reigns should be used to elevate people. They shouldn't be thrown on someone's waist to have them just carry it around for a year straight every single time. It's not necessary, and it kind of makes you forget about certain belts when people hold on to them for too long. John says, was the last 5 minutes of WrestleMania the greatest storybook ending? Almost. Almost. Stone Cold would have made it perfect. I know people are, the Undertaker had his reasonings. He owed him a receipt. It's literally confirmed that was supposed to be Stone Cold's spot. It would have made the most sense. It would have gotten the biggest pop. That would have been absolutely 10 out of 10. Instead, it's like 9.9 out of 10. Colin Ladd says, I think Wes Lee is going to be a huge star one day and be a better Ricochet. So I actually did just watch an NXT pay-per-view, whatever one was in the UFC thing, and I got to see a little bit of Wes Lee. And I'm not going to argue with that, but I do want to give a hot take of my own. I think so far on the main roster, what I've seen out of Carmelo Hayes is he's kind of ass. Just throwing that out there. DT says, do you think Roman Reigns is going to come back as a face version of the Tribal Chief? So I don't believe he's going to come back directly as a face. I think he's going to come back for what he lost, and that's his belt. He ain't going to get it back, and I think shortly after is when we're going to see the face turn. And by Survivor Series, he's going to be a full-blown babyface, and I think him and Cody are going to be fighting alongside each other versus The Rock in the new shitty bloodline. I will say this, as much as I don't miss Roman Reigns, the bloodline without him, with Solo leading it and the new crew, they suck. Watson to Cooper says, despite not being on TV very often, Logan Paul is the second best champion in WWE. You're not wrong at all. No, like you're 100% right. He's actually had a tremendous title reign too. I think it does need to end probably at SummerSlam. It's getting to the point now, but he has had a fantastic run. Brady says, what is your dream match? So I'll give you my dream match that's impossible and my dream match that's totally possible. So the one that's totally possible still, Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. We all want that. Dream match that just we're never gonna get anymore, CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And we could get it, but we won't. All right, next one's from Browns NFL. He says, when do you think these 5 return? Number 1, we have The Rock. I think we see The Rock return sometime around October for the build-up to Survivor Series. Maybe slightly before that, but after SummerSlam. He's also my Rumble pick. Then we've got Roman Reigns. He is advertised for the SmackDown before SummerSlam, so I'm expecting him probably maybe 1 or 2 shows before that even. Seth Rollins, I actually have the Royal Rumble as his return. Rhea Ripley, I also have the Royal Rumble. And Becky, I actually believe we see her at SummerSlam. I don't think she's gone for a long time at all. Jimmy says, what is the best match you've ever seen in person? Not gonna lie, you know, I've only been to televised shows besides the one AEW Full Gear event. The match that I've seen in person that sticks out to me the most was on a random episode of SmackDown, and it was AJ Styles versus Luke Harper. It was a good match, dude. Thingamabob Jr. here says, do you think in 10 years you will remember this time period in WWE as the best ever? Fuck no. No, oh hell no. Like, I would say 04 to 2010. That was the absolute prime. John Gomez says, what are your night 1 and 2 WrestleMania 41 main events at this moment? Night 1, I have Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Night 2, I have Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. Marshall Parsons says, best WWE game of all time. 2K24 has recency bias, but I'll always have a soft spot for SmackDown versus Raw 2011. So 2K24 is good, but my top 2 games I would say are tied between 2K14. It had every WrestleMania on there. It was awesome. And and SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. It had just the best My Player, it had the best GM mode, it was probably just the best game. And ending, we have Orioles 2025 Super Bowl champs, okay. Roman Reigns is the most overrated WWE wrestler ever. That's ridiculous. I mean, his own cousin is 10 times more overrated than him, but none of them even sniff Sasha Banks. Holy shit, she is the most overrated ever. And that is also gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this video of me reacting to your WWE questions and takes. If you guys like this video, make sure to let me know in the comments and I'll do more. However, in the meantime, I'm gonna get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday, have a great rest of your week, and as always, I will see you in the next upload.